good, everybody? Was goody good? Was hood? So, I want to be a man of my word for the first time in a couple days about, what I'm about to drop. So, here we go. We got Wild Arms Free in the cut. Let me take a look at something real quick. Yup, that crazy ass lady got unbanned. So all is not right with the world, or wrong. It's just kind of chaotic. Whatever. I don't have my old save files clouded at the moment. The cloud is in the PlayStation Plus thing, but I'm not on that service presently. So for the record, I already have the platinum on this game, but I plan on doing Wild Arms 4. And I thought it would be inappropriate for me to do Wild Arms 1, 2, then 4. I think it's better if I have 3 to add some continuity. Plus, this is one of my favorite games in the series. I just love the aesthetics, the mechanics, the character designs, I guess. They went fully gung-ho with the Wild West setting here, whereas the first Wild Arms game, it was a departure. I mean, the first Wild Arms game, it was like they were flirting with medieval fantasy and some of the more usual elements. 2 was trying to be a tokusatsu. This one is fully Wild West. And look, the cell shading is aesthetic. Okay, it's automatic. So this is the most cinematic that this game is ever really going to be. As I've said before, last stream when I was playing Nier Replicant, I wanted this game so badly I actually traded Dragon Ball Budokai for a demo of this game. It also came with a demo for Sly Cooper and Primal. The OST is fantastic, as you can tell. They're going with something a little bit more cinematic because this is like a timed out intro. So you don't have to think about setting up loops and things of that nature. So when I had the demo, I could play as her, or I think Kim, and there was one that took place in the early game a little later on. So yes, we're gonna set her as Virginia. She's the main protagonist in this game. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try to get as many eagle eggs and near replicants, and then when I'm satisfied with the eagle eggs I have, I'll resume with my campaign on that game until, I guess, until the D route. I'm gonna off-screen the D route because the D route is effectively the C route. It's just you make a different selection. That was a strong ass headbutt. It's important to note this game has one missable trophy. I haven't really missed that trophy. I got the platinum, so that means that generally I could play this without a walkthrough and be just fine. That doesn't seem to be the case with Wild Arms 4. I've seen people have to do New Game Plus runs because they messed up. So she describes her gun as like wings. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff that carried over from Wild Arms 2 into this one. It just got refined a little bit more. So one of my favorite YouTubers got hacked and he lost their account, but you know, we used to speak about this game often and just how like good the beginning of the game was, especially. I think Wild Arms games tend to have really good beginnings and post games. Visually, this looks fantastic. There's her with that flying metaphor. I'm not too nervous about playing this game considering the fact that I was able to get through this section as a 9-year-old multiple times over just fine. Of course they give the lady Tinder, but okay, so it's not just her that uses this metaphor. So yeah, in this game, people use guns as weapons. It's not just like a special attack thing. Everyone's kind of an arms user. They all kind of have that power, and they don't rely on like it as a secondary while their weapon, like the sword, is their primary. Okay. Let's fight. So now that our force level is up, let's go. So she has access to Mystic. You also have the cancel feature. So the Vitality set allows you to regain health after every battle, but after that you're out of Final Fantasy 13 territory and you gotta think about attrition. I don't really mess with auto battle. That bed does not look comfortable at all. If you see, it's made of like wooden planks, and the sheets next to it look just as sturdy, so I think it's the same thing. Maybe some people will like it. Oh, okay. I don't recall that mechanic. Probably never had to think about it that much because I just understood things. Okay, we got some mini carrot. I'm sure that's good for like a carrot cake, which I just had a while ago. Anyway. I like that step back she has. You know, this presentation is really good with the combat where it's not that different, but just seeing them walk around and pivot before they make an action is enough to make it look more exciting instead of everyone standing in a row. So you started off as a food company, but then you expanded to weaponry and archaeological discovery. How did you get a loan for all of that? You must have cornered the fuck out of the market or some shit. So these are babyish puzzles. Do I have a duplicator? No, I have a bunch of Gimel coins, but... Well, now they're mine, so I'm stealing from the town. So there's different ways of canceling out of an encounter. Some are straight up free, like throwing something, opening a chest. I mean, he's dressed like a scientist, so that's proof enough that he's a scientist. Just like if I would dress up like a chef with a white hat, that means I'm a chef. She wants to shoot with like 2 pistols. What is she trying to be, Lara Croft? I hate when people do shit like that, by the way. Erasing memories and shit. Okay, so these guys hit fairly hard, but they're also a little inaccurate. Let's take this out for a spin. Woo! You ever put an egg in a microwave? That's what he looked like. I remember when my father saw that scene, he started dying in laughter. Oh, look at that. Hold on. Let me see if that's because of the dead pixels on my television. Oh, okay, no, that was because of the dead pixels on my television. It looked like Wasteland and Needing from my end were written out as one word. I mean, things wouldn't have gotten better if it wasn't for you taking initiative. You just need people by your side who can take that initiative with you. I think I recognize the localizer for this. I wonder if it's Jeremy Blaustein. It might not be. Let me look up who did the localization. Actually, let me do that right now. Wild Arms Free English. Well, it is a better localization than Wild Arms 2, which I'm sure someone's gonna say, well, gotcha, because that one is a lot less literal. This is easier to read. That's just kind of long and short. Wild Arms 2 had, like, there were some things about the localization of Wild Arms 2 that I really liked, such as the fact that it was a little ahead of its time. You had emojis and things of this nature that show that it was tied to the age of the internet. This one doesn't really do any of that. It tries to, like, shift away from that contemporary vibe that Wild Arms 2 was leaning to, but wait, what? Don't mess with me like that. How long have I been doing this? Okay, 27. Y'all scared the hell out of me. I saw the playtime as like 7 minutes. There's no way in hell that was only 7 minutes. Y'all got me worried I'm on some like special drugs that have me like perceiving time differently. Don't gaslight me like that, game. That must be because of the FPS of the current emulator. This doesn't use the same emulator as some of the newer PlayStation 1 and 2 classics. Like Wild Arms 4 is going to use a different emulation software. Anyway, I want to stick to the demo order, so I'm going to do with this guy, Gallows. He's actually the first Baskar party member. Was Tim half Baskar? I don't know. So his journey is a little bit more recent. Let's see how he leaves his nest. I mean, the Baskar demographic in these Wild Arms games is always like an interesting one. Really plays up that Wild West setting. So one of those is an imposter, or there's something at a higher dimension at play here. And if you follow Occam's razor, it's most likely one of those is an imposter. He looks like Tim from Wild Arms 2. Oh man, that's assholeish. So these dudes on their sombreros, you can use them to save. I'm keeping it to the second slot because when I uncloud my old save data, I want to get back those old files that I used to have. Okay, let's talk to this chicken. Okay, so I can interact with the cocks. You know I like that already. Nobody's in this crib. So this is what I like about Wild Arms 3 so much. In a time where I was so starved of world maps and JRPGs, we have one right here. Now, the PlayStation 2 Tales of games also have world maps: Symphonia, Abyss, Destiny 2, Destiny Remake, Rebirth. Not Legendia, though. At least not from what I've seen. So these enemies pack a little bit less of a punch, but Fallen Sanctuary. Okay, I understand it now. But before that, I want to go up. I want to take the wrong way first, and I don't know exactly which one's the wrong way. Okay, that's probably not the intended direction, but it's also probably useless as hell, so it's... I could use that right now. I'm ducking fades like a pro in this game. So, I'm sure you guys realize now that Virginia and Gallows basically cancel each other out in terms of environmental interactions, which is neat. I like the continuity of that. Ugh. So let's see, suspension. Fantastic, okay. So I need to get a hit off so I can have my spells ready. That might be why you want to use the cancel mechanic. The ice doesn't really seem icy enough until it shatters, and it's like, okay, even if it doesn't feel like ice, it at least feels like getting hit with high pressure broken glass. And that can't be fun. So the first Wild Arms game came out in '96, and the third entry in 2002. If you think about it, that is like a compounding release structure. Yeah, it's only like 3-year waits each time, but compared to how this series is going to like output, it's actually kind of crazy. Let's see what pressure does. This side. But we got a water gem because we used the water spell, so. Oh, I get it now. This is what... Is there like a block I can move around? Daddy! Oh, now you're a future priest. Okay, that's better. Okay, so that turns this into a... I used the wrong thing. Easy enough. I feel like I missed a chest in both scenarios. I like how it shifts to sepia to show this is like an aged photograph. I guess back then, with the arid environment and the sun exposure, these things probably age quickly. Like it has that Instagram look. I say that, but Instagram doesn't even like promote that like filter aesthetic. Which is too bad because I really liked it back then, but that platform got too mainstream. Now it's about gender wars, rage bait, and performative edginess. So Jet wasn't a character that I had access to in the demo, but my friend and I, we used to joke that he reminds us a lot of Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho, but also Vegeta. You know, the edgy, badass manlets. I love this dungeon name, Doomed to Obscurity. So these intros are actually pretty short compared to Wild Arms 1. I kind of put on a show for your ass. Ooh. That was really good in the composition where it got all Michiru style. Okay, that's some good music right there. It looks like he used his fucking work ID to open that. Thankfully the back of his head didn't clock anything. Oh no. I love his attack animation so much. see what you got in your bag. I already know the game. Grip chin ass. Damn, his portrait makes him look hard as hell, even though he has that Dr. Phil hairline. Okay, so he's in it for himself. I guess they're in a beggars can't be choosers type situation because they are taking him saying fuck off pretty well. Keep looking, yo. This guy doesn't seem that tough. Actually, hold on. There's something that has me curious. I was gonna do something interesting right there, but I guess not. That's his life. Judging by your looks, I think your childhood was long gone, but I guess what you mean is your connection to it. Decent roll. Better. Identify as a So he's the amnesiac protagonist. Oh, now that I see him in front of this grown-ass dude, I can see how he's probably like in his late teens. He's like a child by Japanese standards, a 19-year-old maybe. I don't like how moving up and down the save slots actually like it's silent, but moving left and right, that's what creates noise. It should be both that create noise. So we just got this guy left to do. Clive. You know, I didn't realize that, but this guy has the same name as the Final Fantasy 16 protagonist. Well, I certainly can tell you which character I like a lot more, and it's this one. With his nasty ass shotgun. Green haired Vasha Stampede looking motherfucker. Okay. I'm older than this guy, that's something. Negligibly, though. This guy has so much swag to him. Yodian46, get your ass out my fucking channel. I hate how the touchscreen decides to shit out whenever I decide to like ban a motherfucker. Like I've been touching lava all week. Okay, I got some fruit. Love this guy's big ass shotgun, it just exterminates motherfuckers. This guy ends fights. Got a little bit of TNT on him. So that's one disadvantage of Clive, is that he runs out of bullets pretty quickly because he's got shotgun shells. So they're powerful, but you gotta reload, otherwise he's gonna hit you with the butt of his gun. Oh, this guy's design is kind of cool. This black dragon. And we get a crit too, let's go. Yes, yes. But these intro boss fights are just tutorials to see the bag of whoever you're rocking with. I can't believe that we got cooked. He said, oh yeah, well I have this. So we had to season the explosives. No room to escape. It's a big ass mug. This is a nice little set piece moment. I don't know if he's gonna reapply poison if I unequip it, so. Well, visually this is a more impressive battle than the last one, with the music, the set piece, the tactics implemented. And just the fact that the dragon is taking to the skies, he's more evasive. So yes, this is once again Filgaia. All the Wild Arms games take place in Filgaia. I don't know if XF takes place there, but I'm sure when I watch David Vince's LP, I'll get my answer. This was not 37 minutes. I have no idea how they notate the time system, but no, it is not. Okay, continue playing. I wonder if they only count when you're playing it. So yes, the Wild Arms games all use a sort of ruined Earth setting. This one is the most ruined out of all of them. It's just straight up desert. I mean, Wild Arms 1 and 2 had a lot of areas that were just straight up dusty, but they kind of use the Wild West setting in the series well to present a decayed world, which kind of explains why everyone is presenting this way, why everything is kind of mindfully built together to make it make sense. Just yeehaw fantasy. Which, when you think about things like Trigun, yeehaw fantasy is kind of in vogue around this time. I read some of the Boruto spoilers, and I'm looking forward to the next chapter. Like, I actually read it in the raw form, but I want to see the proper official translation. Might be better, might be worse, but I like the direction the arc is taking now, where it seems like we're getting some arc resolution. My only concern is that the remaining antagonists, Code, Judah, Hidari, these are characters where we know their abilities, what they are capable of, and how they operate, so all that's really compelling is how are they going to get defeated and what's going to be the resolutions to their arcs, because Judah and Hidari are slowly coming to terms with human emotions, and they're hinting at a potential face turn with Code. Is it going to be an Ukiura situation where they start to understand what it means to care about another person and the heart at the moment of their passing? It's interesting that freaking Kawaki's main power is probably going to be just being able to switch his stats on a dime, so he can be either a complete tank, or at the moment where he strikes, he's just a complete powerhouse. Like right now, that's only remote controlled with Amado and the scientific ninja tool frogs that Koji Kashin possess, but I don't want to go too much to spoiler territory. Okay, so this is a cool set piece. I like how this robber looks more like Rudy and Ashley from Wild Arms 1 and 2. You know, the blue-haired protagonist. Yeah, this guy's name is Janice. I've already made comments about people named Janice, but there's mostly women named Janice. I don't think that necessarily applies to men. Okay, so because of this train thing, now we're all kind of standing in a row like a standard fair JRPG, which I'm a little mixed on if it wasn't for the fact that it makes sense to sim around. Let's go for Romero. Gadia. Okay, so no, that's what it'll matter. He seems to be the most superfluous one, so let me. Okay, so we took his ass out. He doesn't scare me. Okay. I wonder, physics-wise, would that actually have saved them? Like, let's not pretend they're like superhuman for a moment. Okay, so we gotta pull up to Gallows' hometown. I like how he just assumes that based on his ethnicity. It'd be like if I looked at my homie who's black, I said, oh, well, you know, we gotta go to ATL. I'm sure you know where that is. Wouldn't be the most polite thing to say, even though it is, you know, normal in fantasy writing, because they try to avoid as you know as much as possible, so they try to be clever and covert with it. Because they gotta do a lot of world building. But then you run into these type of situations. Never. Ironically, Gallows probably has like the weakest enemies in his campaign, so that and the fact that this is what introduces us to the world map. None of the other characters have like a world map in their campaign. It's probably the best place to start. But yeah, this is the main ensemble in Wild Arms 3. We don't get any like weird party members. It's not like Wild Arms 2 or 5 for that matter. So in that sense, you got to get really attached to these characters, the same way you would have to get attached to Rudy, Jack, and Cecilia in Wild Arms 1. 1, 3, and 4, effectively the same thing. Always be mindful when grown motherfuckers or mature motherfuckers start getting quiet. That means there's more to this story than what's being led on. The other two, okay, the ones that he's in possession of. So, you know how, I think it was Ragu or Regula or Anglemois has an ability called Seventh Moon, and I realized that that's part of this Chinese superstition that on the 7th full moon of the year, basically the dead will rise and like attack everyone. Which I know there was like an Israeli horror film based on that Chinese myth. That kind of sounds like what this is. Okay, so they're primordial in that sense. So we got the ensemble together that's gonna frame the rest of this game. Let me actually try something out. So will we get like an outro? Yup, we will. Yeah, I didn't really want this shit, so let me get up out of here. Anyway, this has been your boy Mr. 107. Thank you guys for watching, and next time, make day.